Hey ladies, let's talk about the elephant in the bedroom that nobody wants to address. You know that thing where you used to be all over your husband, and now the thought of intimacy makes you want to hide under the covers and pretend you're asleep? Yeah, that. And gentlemen watching this, buckle up because we're about to have the conversation your wife has been wanting to have but didn't know how to start. But before we get into this very real, very common situation, let me ask you something. Are you the person who Googles, how to fix my marriage, at 2 a.m. but never actually talks to your spouse about it? Because if you are, this video is about to give you the reality check and the solutions you've been looking for. I'm Cora, and this is Real and Raw Relationships, where we tackle the topics that make people squirm in the best way possible. Today we're getting into why physical intimacy can change after marriage and kids, and I'm giving you the real reasons, not the surface level stuff everyone else talks about. By the end of this video you'll understand what's really happening and have actual strategies to reconnect. And if you're new here and you love honest relationship advice that doesn't sugarcoat the hard stuff, hit that subscribe button because we're building a community of people who are done pretending everything is perfect. Let's start with some uncomfortable honesty, shall we? The internet is full of articles that blame hormones, tiredness, and it's just a phase. And while those things are real, they're not the whole story. Here's what's actually happening that nobody wants to admit. Sometimes women lose interest in sex with their husbands because, and I'm going to say this with love, the relationship dynamic has shifted in ways that make intimacy feel like another chore on the to-do list rather than a connection between partners. I see you nodding, mama. Comment below if you've ever felt like you're touched out by the end of the day. Not just physically tired but emotionally and mentally drained from being everyone's everything. And husbands, before you get defensive, this isn't about you being a bad partner. This is about understanding that when someone spends their day managing tiny humans, making decisions and keeping everyone alive, sometimes the last thing they want is another person needing something from their body. So my friend Jessica, and yes, she gave me permission to share this. Jessica used to tell me about how she and her husband Mark had this amazing connection before kids. They'd be spontaneous, playful, couldn't keep their hands off each other. Classic honeymoon phase, right? Fast forward 3 years and 2 kids later, and Jessica finds herself hiding in the bathroom just to get 5 minutes alone. Mark would approach her for intimacy, and instead of feeling excited she'd feel overwhelmed. Not because she didn't love him, but because she'd already given every piece of herself to everyone else that day. But here's where it gets interesting. Mark started taking it personally. He'd make comments like, "We never do anything anymore," or "You're always too tired." And Jessica? She started feeling guilty, which made her want intimacy even less. Classic catch-22. Plot twist coming in 3, 2, 1. The breakthrough came when Jessica realized she wasn't rejecting Mark. She was protecting what little energy she had left. And once they both understood that, everything changed. Okay, so here's what's actually happening. I'm giving you 5 real reasons, and yes, they're going to make some people uncomfortable, but that's how you know we're getting somewhere. Reason number 1, the mental load. First, let's talk about the mental load. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. You're not just managing your own schedule, you're managing everyone's. Doctor's appointments, meal planning, remembering that the school project is due tomorrow. By the time bedtime rolls around, your brain is done. And intimacy requires mental space, not just physical energy. Reason number 2, touch saturation. Second, touch saturation. This is real, y'all. When you spend your day with little humans climbing on you, nursing, needing comfort, your body can literally reach its limit for physical contact. It's not personal, it's biological. Reason number 3, identity shift. Third, identity confusion. You went from being Sarah the wife to Sarah the mom, and somewhere in that transition, you forgot you were also Sarah the woman. When your identity becomes solely about taking care of others, it's hard to connect with your own desires. Reason number 4, the choreplay myth. Fourth, and this one's going to ruffle some feathers. The whole choreplay thing is partially a myth. Yes, help with housework is important, but it's not going to magically make someone want to be intimate if the emotional connection isn't there. You can't clean your way back into someone's heart. Reason number 5, communication breakdown. And finally, communication breakdown. When was the last time you had a conversation that wasn't about logistics? Kids' schedules, bills, groceries. When you stop connecting as partners and only function as co-managers, intimacy becomes awkward because you've forgotten how to be lovers, not just roommates. Look, I want to talk to both partners here for a minute. To the women watching this, you're not broken. You're not a bad wife. You're not being difficult or withholding. You're human and you're doing the best you can with limited resources. And to the men watching, your feelings matter too. Feeling rejected hurts and it's okay to miss that connection. But understand that most of the time, it's not about you personally. It's about a system that needs adjustment. Marriage isn't supposed to be a constant sacrifice of one person for another. It's supposed to be a partnership where both people feel valued, desired, and supported. And sometimes, that means having uncomfortable conversations about what's really going on. Okay, enough with the problems. Let's talk solutions. I'm giving you 4 strategies that actually work, and yes, they require effort from both partners. Strategy number 1. The daily connection ritual. First, create a daily connection ritual that has nothing to do with sex. 5 minutes of actual conversation about something other than logistics. Ask about dreams, fears, funny things that happened. Remember why you liked each other in the first place. Strategy number 2. The energy audit. Second, do an energy audit. Ladies, where are you spending your energy? Are there things you can delegate, eliminate, or simplify? And gentlemen, this isn't about doing more chores. It's about understanding what drains your partner so you can help protect her energy. Strategy number 3. Redefine intimacy. Third, redefine intimacy. Stop making it all about the destination and focus on the journey. Cuddling without expectations, massages without strings attached, emotional intimacy that doesn't have to lead anywhere. Sometimes taking the pressure off is exactly what's needed. Strategy number 4. The honest conversation. And finally, have the conversation. Not when you're already frustrated, but when you're both calm. Use this script. I miss feeling connected to you and I want to understand how we can support each other better. See what I did there? No blame, no pressure, just partnership. Now here's where I'm going to lose some of you, and that's okay. I think the whole men need sex to feel loved, women need love to want sex thing is outdated and harmful. Both partners need to feel emotionally connected and physically desired. It's not a gender thing, it's a human thing. Fight me in the comments, but do it respectfully. If this hit home for you, here's what I want you to do. Subscribe to Real and Raw Relationships because we're just getting started with these honest conversations. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss when I drop new truth bombs, and this is important, share this with your partner. Yes, it might be awkward, but that's where growth happens. Next week we're talking about how to have the talk with your spouse when you're feeling disconnected, and I'm giving you the exact scripts that work. Trust me, you're going to want to take notes. I'll see you then, and remember, real relationships require real conversations even when they're uncomfortable.